Okay, hi guys. This is our assignment for Thursday. So there's one optional video here, and then we have our two required assignments. Both are 4 questions long, so it's very similar to Wednesdays. So let's click the first one. And these are 4 questions that are all going to be very similar. And we need to find the missing length of one of the sides of a triangle. If it loads. All right, so it's telling us here triangle ABC is similar to triangle JKL. That means A is going to correspond with J, B is going to correspond with K, and C is going to correspond with L. Okay, so we know that AB is going to correspond with, right, this is the first two, is going to correspond with JK. BC, the last two letters there is going to correspond with KL. And then AB is going to correspond with JL. Okay. So AB here is 28. And JK is 14. Okay. BC is 10. KL is 5. And then AB, oh, I'm sorry, we screwed this. This should have been AC. Right, this should have been AC over JL. Okay, so it's going to be 24 over Q. All right. So we set up, so they told us they were similar, and so since they were similar triangles, we knew that their sides were proportional, and since their sides were proportional, we knew that the ratios of the corresponding sides were going to be equal to each other. So we set up all our proportion by setting our ratios equal to each other. We can now pick two of the ratios. I'm going to pick these two right here. Right, so 10 over 5 equals 24 over Q. Okay, and to solve our proportion, we're going to cross multiply. So we're going to multiply these together. That's 10Q. Okay, and then we're going to multiply these together. 24 times 5. Okay, so we have 10Q on this side. And over here we have 24 times 5. 5 times 25 is 125. And there would be 5 extras, so that would be 120. And when we divide by 10, we're going to end up with Q equals 10. To check our answer, we can plug it in here. So 28, I'm sorry, that's 12. Definitely it should be 12. Okay, 120 divided by 10 is 12. So 28 divided by 14 is 2. Right, and that's why you check your answer, because 10 would have been wrong, and then would have had to start it all over because we need to get 100% on this. So 28 divided by 14 is 2. 10 divided by 5 is 2. And 24 divided by 12 is going to be 2 as well. Okay, so all your ratios are equal when Q is 12. So those are, it's going to be our answer here. So we're going to put in 12. Okay, we check. And we hear the wonderful sound that is the correct answer there. And we can go to the next question. All right, and all these are going to be very similar. So we'll just do one more here. Triangle X, Y, Z, and triangle A, B, C. So let's see, XY would be our first one. That's 4.5. Okay, so XY is going to correspond with AB. So XY is corresponding with AB. That's going to be K. Okay. YZ here, it's going to correspond with BC. So YZ, I made a mess of that. I should have made this smaller. Right, so AB matched up with XY. YZ matches up with BC. So YZ is 3. And then BC is going to be 9. And then our last one is XZ. So XZ is going to match up with AC from our statement here. So XZ is 4 and AC is 12. Okay. You just pick two of the ratios. You want to pick the one with K because that's what we need to solve for. And then either one of the other two ratios, it doesn't matter. Let's pick these two right here. Okay, so we have 4.5 over K equals 3 over 9. Okay, cross multiply. So 9 times 4.5 is going to equal 3 times K. Let's see, 9 times 4 is 36. Half of 9 is 4.5, so it's going to be 40.5. Right? And we divide by 3. So let's see. We can use the, we have a calculator here. We're going to do it out by hand, but that's okay. 40. That's, nope. 40.5 divided by 3. 13.5. Okay, so let's put that in. Okay, before I submit though, I'm going to check my answer. So 4.5 divided by 13.5, that's going to be 1/3. 3 divided by 9 is going to be 1/3. And 4 divided by 12 is 1/3. So we know K has to be 13.5 because that gives us the 1/3. So all our ratios are equal. So now that I've checked my answer, I'm going to hit submit. And then the next two problems will be very similar to those two. Okay, so that's the first section, the basic ones, and then the more advanced ones, that's your third link here. So let's click that and we'll do a couple of those. I think I clicked it, it's just, yeah, delayed a little bit. These problems are like, if you remember on our test, we had the problem with the tree that was in the middle, and you had to separate them into two separate triangles. Right. So let's do these. So here, I'm just going to draw the two triangles separate. So we'll do the first one in red. I'm going to slow down and try to draw better. I always try to do things too fast. So there's our red triangle. Okay. There's our right angle. Here's X. And here's 3. Okay. And then our blue triangle. Let's draw it in blue. It's going to be this big one here. Okay, and I'm going to draw, I guess I'll draw it right up here. Okay, so I draw them separately. The height is 12. Okay, this piece here is 3, and this is 9. So together, this whole thing is going to be 12. 3 plus 9 is 12, so the base here is 12. Okay. We know, let's do green, I guess. This angle A, is in both triangles. So we know by the reflexive property that angle A is congruent to angle A. And we know that angle B and angle D are right angles, so they're going to be congruent. So we know that A matches up with A, B matches up with D, and then C matches up with E. Okay, and then now we can set up our ratios because these triangles are similar by angle-angle similarity. So 3 matches up in the red one, matches up with 12, okay, which means X is going to then match up with 12 over here. Right, so 3 over 12, and then X over 12. Okay, we cross multiply, so we're going to get 3 times 12. Right, that's this one. And then we'll cross multiply here. That's going to be 12x. So we get 36 equals 12x. Divide by 12, and we get x equals 3, right? And that makes sense. If that's 3 over 12, that one's also got to be 3 over 12. So we can then put in our answer for x is 3. Hope we get the good sound. And we did. Now we get a little dopamine rush in our brain because we're excited we got the math problem right. And now we can move on to the next one, and hopefully we get the same result. All right, so I'm going to draw the 2 triangles out. So let's draw this one here. Draw the small one. And you don't have to draw them out, but it really, really does help, especially if you struggle. Okay, so the green one here, the base is 10, and the height is 2. We have a right angle here. Let's draw this one in red. So the red is going to be the big one. It's a little bit bigger. The height is x. The base is going to be 10 plus 1, right? So the length of this whole piece here is 11. Okay. We know that angle A is part of both triangles. So these angles here are going to be congruent by the reflexive property. This angle is going to be the same for both triangles. It's the 2 triangles share that angle. And then we know that we have 2 right angles. So again, just like the last one, we have angle-angle similarity tells us the triangles are similar. Since the triangles are similar, we know the sides are proportional. And since the sides are proportional, we can set up the ratios of the corresponding sides. The ratios have to be equal. Okay. So 10 matches up with 11. So that's 10 over 11. And then 2 matches up with x, so 2 over x. We cross multiply, so 10 times x is 10x. 11 times 2 is 22. Divide by 10, and x is going to be 2.2. So let's put in our answer here, 2.2. Okay. And then we can, there's the check right here. And we got it good. Okay, and then if we go to the next one. Again, you would draw, well, let's do this one. Yep, let's do this one. Okay. Why not, right? So here's the blue triangle, the little blue one. Okay, here's your right angle. Here's 3 and here's 3. Let's do a green one. So there's green. Okay, so green's the big one. So height is 13. The base here, right, you have 3 plus x, right? So this whole length here is going to be 3. This piece is 3, this piece is x, so the whole thing is 3 plus x. Okay, that's your whole piece here, so this is 3 plus x. Okay. We have 2 right angles, so that's one pair of angles congruent. They both share angle A, so we know that by the reflexive property, we have a second pair of angles that's congruent. So now that we have 2 pair of angles congruent, we can use angle similarity to say the triangles are similar. Since we know the triangles are similar, then we know the sides are proportional. And if the sides are proportional, that means the ratio of the corresponding sides are going to be equal to each other. Okay, so 3 matches up with 3 plus x. So this is going to be 3 over 3 plus x equals. This 3 is going to match up with 13. So 3 over 13. And since this is 3 and 3, you know these are going to be 13 and 13, so you really could just say 3 plus x equals 13. Subtract 3, and we know x is going to be 10. But let's just do this out in case we didn't see that. So 3 times 13 on one side as we cross multiply. And then here, right, we would have 3 times 3 plus x. Okay, so that's 39. If we distribute our 3, that's going to be 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times x is 3x. Okay, you subtract 9 from both sides. So minus 9, minus 9. You end up on the left side with 30. On the right side, you're left with 3x. And then you divide by 3, and we get 10 equals x. Right, and that's going to be 13. 10 plus 3 is 13. So 13 and 13, 3 and 3. So it's 3 over 13 and 3 over 13. Right, those ratios are equal. So 10. We hope for the good sound, and we got it. And the last one is. Yep. So again, this one, the small triangles x and 6. Right, if we just want to sketch them out real quick. Right, x and 6. And then this one here is going to be 8. And then, again, x plus 8. Right, x plus 8. Okay. So then x on this one matches up with x plus 8. And then 6 matches up with 8. You cross multiply, you get 8x. Right, and then 6 times x plus 8. You distribute the 6, so you end up with 8x plus, equals 6x plus 48. Right, you subtract 6x from both sides, you get 2x equals 48. Divide by 2, and you're left with x equals 24. Okay. So if we wanted to check that, 24 over 32 is 3/4, and 6 over 8 is also 3/4. So we know 24 is our correct answer. Okay. There's the checkbox right here. And there you go. So again, we'll do Google Meet tomorrow, 7:30. You guys can share your screens, and I can help you with the problems. Or you can email me or text me on Remind pretty much all day. And I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Okay?